Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna start in just one second. Give me 1 minute. One thing I wanted to mention, I was reading something earlier, and it was about the freedmen in the Indian reservation and whatnot, or part of the supposedly the five tribes and whatnot. And I see Maxine Waters is taking a special interest in that in terms of trying to help them get tangibles and whatnot. So I was just interested to see if anybody had heard anything about that Maxine Waters was specifically trying to get them, because a lot of the black people that did have connections to the five tribes, they've been kind of left out on the got the short end of the stick and whatnot. And Maxine has gone out of her way to actually try to get them something. You see, Stacey Abrams is also trying to get gambling also in Georgia and whatnot. So just a whole lot of different things have been going on and whatnot. Like I said, we got the two Walker and we got Warnock getting ready to battle it out for state senator. I never thought I'd see the day that Herschel Walker could potentially be a United States state senator. I mean, that's mind-boggling to see that. I mean, that would have been the last thing in the world I could have thought could have happened.
What is Stacey Abrams trying to do in Georgia? I know about Maxine Waters. One thing about Maxine Waters is she's awful, obviously, like a lot of them are. Maxine Waters is actually one of the few quote-unquote black politicians that I may have for her a smidgen of respect, because as awful as she is, she's had her moments where she has gone against them and has stood on cold. One of them I always remember is the crime bill of the 1990s. Maxine Waters and Don Conyers were the only two black caucus members who said they were not going to vote for the crime bill, and they didn't. And they stood their ground on it, and everything they feared about the crime bill came to fruition. So yeah, she has been really going at Native Americans who have been discriminatory against black American freemen. She has said to them, if it happens, she's taking every cent of funding they have, and she actually has the power to do it. But what's going on with Stacey Abrams? I'm not familiar with her, because usually she's up there, nothing but a vote blue no matter who they from.
Well, Stacey's trying to she's trying to get Georgia to actually legalize gambling there as well. I had the yeah, she's trying to get legalized gambling going on in the state of Georgia. She recently had something too a few weeks ago where she was basically telling black people, basically that we're not a significant population to really, just focus solely on, pretty much. And she's also trying to kind of distance herself from the whole defund the police type, because what's his name, Kemp, that she's running against in the what is it? Is it Kemp or Purdue? I can't remember. It's got to be Kemp. Kemp. Yeah, she's trying, because they've labeled her as a anti-police. They label her as the fund the police type person. So she's trying to go ahead and she was saying that basically that she's trying to. I know she was talking about trying to get additional funding for the police and whatnot, and trying to get more training, so they would be better equipped to handle, I guess, the situations with black people that arise.
She's awful. She's awful. Okay, I thought she was trying to do something specifically for black people, trying to legalize gambling where the wealth is going to go into the hands of pockets of white people. That's all she's going to do. It's going to go to white people. It's going to go to illegal immigrants. What she needs to be doing is trying to help those black farmers there in Georgia keep their land. What she needs to be doing is speaking out against that, $900 million cop city they're trying to build, and try to have that go to the black communities for Georgians. Okay? That's what she needs to be trying to do. So she's not. That's a whole different burger.
And then we got Cory Booker as well. We have here in Florida. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jesus. What is her name? Val Demings. Val Demings used to be a chief of police, I believe, in Orlando. She's going against Marco Rubio for state senator. Val Demings is she's constantly on the she's a Democrat, but she's constantly on the actual TV, and she's talking about Marco Rubio's record of not showing up in the Senate and this and that. Val Demings is also letting you know that she's tough on police, and she told you straight up in the commercial that she's not with all that defund the police garbage and crap like that. Also, let me ask you this one question. Why is it that the Democrats seem to just steer clear of any reform and definitely defund the police is like, it's just like that can't even be mentioned. And like they said, that is a killer right there. Why is it that you had at one time with the George Floyd situation that gripped the entire world, the Democrats jumped on it. They was talking about Joe Biden was talking about real reform and whatnot. All of the black Democrats that come out, they don't even mention reform as part of the platform and the agenda. Like they totally just steered away from it. Like you hear all of them, they mention reform a little bit, but they never go in depth. Like Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, this and that. They're talking about really adding additional dollars, and they're not talking about reform. Unless funding is reform, and maybe I'm mistaken, but maybe pouring billions of dollars more into the actual system, a broken system, is that where reform? Because I thought when you went to the police academy that you were actually getting training and everything else on how to deal with the population. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I've never been in the police academy, but it seems like the way that they're talking about reform is by pumping billions of dollars more into the system, and also that's the reform that they're talking about.
As with everything, they're coons. It's as simple as plain as that. There's no elaborate answer needed.
Brother Moku, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead, brother, and unmute your mic.
Hey, how y'all doing, fam? What's up, myself? DJ, Leon, Newstoter, what's going on? I'm gonna say, man, all of these candidates look like nothing burgers. I mean, you got goddamn Herschel Walker up here that can't even run two concurrent sentences together without fucking it up. And then you got Stacey Abrams, who never really focused on black people. I mean, we still questioning that bag she got. You know what I'm saying? They still trying to trace her monies and shit, you know. So Cory Booker, that's just a joke. I mean, DJ already called his ass out when he was up in Jersey, and he asked him about reparations, and the nigga looked at him like he was crazy. So I don't trust none of these politicians, especially not the ones that we looking at tonight. Warnock, Waters, Abrams. I mean, Maxine Waters. I mean, Marcel, you're right. She did do a couple things back in full-fledged about reparations. I ain't see her support for you for real, so I ain't even with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now, nobody talking about reparations specifically for black people, then I'm not trying to hear shit they got to say. I'll land right there.
Today on the CBS News, I was looking at. I saw that you had, because you have the governor down there in Texas, Abbott. He's taking all the migrants, he's putting them on buses, and he's sending them back to Washington, D.C., basically sending them back to Joe Biden, putting them in his lap. So guess what I saw? I saw two black mayors. It was like three of them, but of course it had two black mayors. It was Adams of New York, and I cannot think of the lady's name in D.C. right now. It slips my mind, but they were up there. They were talking about how unfair that was and this and that. And they're like, it never fails that you always have black people sitting up here, always the earpiece, always the mouthpiece or whatnot, for something that really, really, you may not like Abbott, you may not like the red views and stuff that the Republican Party has, but in hindsight, sending those migrants back to Joe Biden and D.C. is really, not really a bad thing, I don't feel.
I would vote for him just on that alone. If I had to choose between, they always tell us lesser of two evils, right? But if I had to choose between him and all these quote unquote pathetic excuses for black politicians, you got this. I can't even stand saying his name. This Warnock coward. If I had to choose between them and Greg Abbott, who is putting illegals on buses to get them the hell out, who is financing a wall in Texas to keep the illegals out, he would have my vote just for that alone. Because immigration has to be something that we are against. Illegal immigration is a harm to Black America. It's not necessarily specifically for Black people, but it will definitely disproportionately benefit us.
Well, it's already been shown that illegal immigration hurts Black men the most, especially the unskilled labor market. So that goes without saying right there, that it's really been detrimental to Black men more than any other group.
Well, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, I'm working in that field. I'm a home improvement guy myself. So I'm rolling up on these Home Depots, these Lowe's every day, and I see these illegal workers out there. and it definitely is affecting us. So I definitely will vote for a candidate that is against illegal immigration, but they have to have something else on the back. They gotta have something else on the board, specifically for Black people. Even though being against immigration is specifically for us, but you gotta do more. To me, you know what I'm saying? You just can't. I can't settle for the lesser of two evils because at the end of the day, even if you're Republican and you're against that, but you're for, the crime bill, I can't vote for you comfortably just for one or the other. You know what I'm saying? You're still damaging my community and my people. And you're still against reparations. Repair. I need repair. Financially, mentally, all of us. So, if it's a choice of immigrations for reparations, I'm not even going to be putting that trick bag. I want you to chop down on immigration and make sure the reparations is aligned for Black people specifically. I feel like their politicians, they're here to do our bidding. You know what I'm saying? It's clear that the Constitution, just like Marcel pointed out plenty of other times, when they talking about we the people, they're not talking about us. They're against us and they're working against us. So if they're working against us and they're bringing us this kind of halfway jaded plan, like, okay, we'll get rid of the illegal immigration, but reparations, I don't know about that, buddy. Nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You even need to come with both, or we getting your ass out of there too.
Yeah, that is a big thing too. Is that we agree, and always historically, Black people have been. They are probably closer to conservative and liberal, but at the same time, like I say, you really what really is it for the Republican Party? I know that a lot of times that we want to go ahead and vote against closing the borders and stuff like that, but it is kind of hard to actually champion somebody in the Republican Party because both parties have vitriol towards you, but the red party is just their vitriol is just out there more. So that is kind of hard to actually champion them. I know right now we have a big debate going on in the community with a lot of people saying should they vote, should they not vote, should they vote red, should they vote this or that. So I don't tell anybody how to vote or what to do, but that is a particular interesting a topic that's really coming about right about now.
I get bothered a little when we talk about something like the Red Party, their anti-blackness just out there. It's just out there for the Democrats too. But the Democrats just pretty much, they put a little smiley face on their Ku Klux Klan hood, whereas the Republicans don't. I want the racist that's overtly racist. I want to know what I'm dealing with. So I get a little bothered when we make them seem like, well, the Republicans, they just out there. They all just out there. They all anti-black. We're going to stay in this conundrum until we get off our behinds and start running on the type of platform we know we deserve. There is no one coming to save us. What part of that are we not getting? So we're going to be doing this, 85 years to the future? It's going to be us having to run for office federally. Don't care if you're not a politician. I'm not either. Don't care if you don't want to do it. I don't either. Don't care if it scares you. It scares me too. But it's necessary. Even if you don't win the race, you will be able to push the platform. You will be able to apply pressure, change the conversation. You can see proof of that by Clyburn. Clyburn had this bill that he didn't write. A man from Massachusetts wrote it. This bill that he's trying to pass off as some reparations bill, the GI Bill, which will give access to the loans of descendants of Black American World War II vets, which I am one. Is the bill reparations? No. Is it even a good bill? No. But what it does do that's good, it sets a precedent. It's specificity. He's focusing on freedmen only, descendants of American freedmen. He didn't write it. A white man wrote it. Matter of fact, the part that Clyburn added on talks about women, the people of color, because that's the type of coon he is. The white man from Massachusetts, I forgot his name, Congressman Moultrie, Seth Moultrie, whatever. he wrote it and made it specific to Black American descendants of World War II veterans. The point I'm making is Clyburn never referred to that bill as reparations. An article just came out last month. He was like, these people need reparations. That's what Clyburn said about Black Americans. Y'all know he would not be saying that if he wasn't feeling even just a little bit of pressure from my campaign. Imagine we was all doing this, but all of us are still going to just sit there and have this conversation ad nauseum. It is not going to change. They're never going to do right by us. They never have. After slavery ended, our people ran for office, straight off the plantation into politics. Robert Small, Joseph Rainey, Hiram Rebels. I can go on. Oscar Munoz, I think was his name, or DaCosta from South Carolina. That's what we have to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got AD and we got Queen. But before I go on, I just want to say, Marcel, that we were talking about having the space. I just want to let everybody know that we're talking about having the space tomorrow about the reverse migration. So we have Black Majority State up in here, and that is one of his expertise. Black Majority State, he holds spaces on that all the time. So, Marcel, I know you're a big proponent of actually coming back to the South for a lot of the people that actually are in the West and in the North and whatnot. So we definitely want to try to hold a space on that tomorrow if you're free. I know we talked about it in the back channels or whatever, so I just want to let everybody know while they're in the actual space that we want to actually hold that space tomorrow, if possible, on the actual reverse migration back here to the South. If you have time, and the brother Black Majority State said he's free, so if it's good with you, Marcel, or whatever, then you know what I'm saying. You can let me know in the Black channel if that's a go for tomorrow night, and that's something like also that I'm definitely interested in hearing people's views. I'm here in Florida, so it would definitely be good. I can definitely tell you that there's still a lot of undeveloped property here in the South, but it's not going to stay that way forever. We know developers are always looking for a footloop into things, so definitely that's something to definitely look at for those who are trying to come back South. And it is cheaper to live in the South than it is probably in any other region in the country as well, and you have the fertile land and everything else. So that's just food for thought at this moment. But like I said, we definitely want to hold that space. And I know Marcel, like you said, that's one of the things that you really are interested in is the reverse migration, trying to have a Black majority state. So
so what I was gonna say, so this is a point brought up by, I don't know if y'all know, TD Hip Hop. So he said that a lot of things that politicians do is they use our Black American pain as like a mascot, right? They advertise it on top of everyone else's issue, but when it comes to pay out the dues and the reparations and the assets and the compensation is going to every other group but us, right? But instead, you have Black American pain as the face of it. So over the last during the COVID, we had George Floyd's in the BLM riots and protests and all that stuff. And what did you see? You started seeing the LGBTQ community come out. You start seeing the Jewish community come out. And then mid-2021, up until they got their bill signed by using flipping the script on Black Americans, they were saying Black and Asian, Black and Latino. So the one thing that I kind of look at when it comes to holding these politicians accountable is specify. And I notice that some people are starting to do that now. Especially, I don't know if with who is that lady? Stacey Abrams, I think that's what her name is. People were calling her out because she had like sort of conference or something, and then people were in the crowd yelling like, "Hey, we had to specify for Black Americans, not Black and brown, not Black and Hispanic, not Black and Jewish, none of that, So we got to start with Black first and calling them out in public on the street doing that, because that's what they like to do, because that's the play the game. Oh yeah, we're going to mention Black Americans, we're not going to do anything for them,
Well, that's been a game that's been going on for the past 60 years. I mean, we've been pretty much pouring all our support into one party, and that's another thing. Like I said, I'm hearing different perspectives, and I can appreciate everything. You have people saying that we should vote some Republican. Basically, we should split the Black vote. I'm hearing that we should split the Black vote. I'm hearing that we should sit out of the actual election process. So you're hearing these two sides are really starting to pick up some steam. Now, I can sit here and tell you that there's no way that you're going to get the vast majority of black people, especially in the presidential election, to sit out. That's just not going to happen. That's never happened, and that's not going to happen.
Well, hold on. Wait, hold on real quick. No, actually, over half of black people already technically sit out because that's the average for Americans. Now, y'all know, again, I'm going to say my thing again. We just need to be the people that run on the platform we want to see. But we're going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Well, I mean, in terms of registered voters, Marcel, you're saying that half of the ones that registered black voters have already set out before?
Right. Over 50% of the registered black voters already don't vote, and the ones that are eligible, they don't even bother counting those ones. Because so even among registered, over half don't vote, and eligible, they don't even really bother providing the data. They just go by the age of those who can, and registered just haven't.
Okay, well, you definitely showed me something, man, because like I said, and I know a lot of people, we get the registered voter cards and whatnot, and you're right, a lot of us probably never ever actually go and vote a lot of times, so that's definitely showing me something there. But can you honestly say, in your opinion, could you see the point where you could actually see the black vote splitting between the Democrats and Republicans, just in your honest opinion?
Yes, it can happen, especially when you get Republicans who are waking up that black American voters are pissed off, rightfully, finally, with the Democrats. And you have, like Trump, for example, who was doing his little platinum plan. Was it sufficient? Woefully insufficient. Was it more than what we're getting from the Democrats right now? Yes, it was. And if you get a Republican who's wise enough to realize that because black American voters are so desperate, have our specific needs addressed with policy specific to us, it's going to happen. You're going to get one Republican individual who's going to come along and say, I'm going to have a plan just for y'all. You already got, what's that guy name with the skin like a sweet, like a rotten potato, Shannon. He's already going around saying black men are our key to getting black voters back. So they are already planning it.
That's definitely very interesting to know. Very interesting to know. I see black majority. I see you left a comment saying that you can't speak. I'm sorry, brother. That he's saying that he can't speak or talk. That's something with Twitter again. I don't know. Like I say, some of these spaces, I really can't say what's going on with them. It's just really been really crazy the past month or so. We seem like we should have better reception in them and whatnot. And now I don't know, like last episode, the reception in these spaces, especially the ones that we've been holding over here at Newstoter, has really gone down. The quality of the actual the tech or whatever it is with this, I don't know, but it's really gone down. Queen B, go ahead, and I want to say thank you to Devlon for your contribution on Cash App. Queen B and then Ray. Queen B, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Newstoter, for giving me the floor. And there's a couple of things I want to speak on. And I know people are talking about, whether to vote Democrat or Republican, and thinking that the Republicans can help somewhat with the border situation. And I guess what I want us to keep in mind, too, is that, the Republicans, when they had the majority, they didn't do anything about that border. It wasn't until Trump came along that he pretty much pushed that agenda about trying to stop that illegal immigration. But one of the things that the GOP is doing, they are trying to diversify their base. And there was recently a woman down in southern Texas who won, Hispanic woman, first, what do we want to call it, first generation immigrant from Mexico who just won the seat down there, and she is for amnesty. So that's another thing I think we need to watch out for with these Republicans. When it comes to that type of thing, I think they're going to be just like the Democrats. So what we don't want is them to stop the border, but then they give everybody that's here, an amnesty. So that's just one thing to think about. The other thing I wanted to say was, I tried to put up in the Jumbotron and I wasn't able to do it, but Newstoter, I did send it to you. There was a news story that came out on Yahoo today about Stacey Abrams while she's out there campaigning in Georgia. She was meeting with some black men who were restaurateurs, something like that. But she made the statement about if black men vote for her, she will win. So I would also say that if she's saying that if they vote for her, she will win. But if she loses, is she going to say it's because the black men didn't vote for her? So that's another trick. You know how they try to shame black men a lot, and it looks like that's something she's planning
not
that
to cut you,
already.
Not to cut you off, sister, but they voted for her last time and she lost, and she's going to lose it again. Unfortunately for her, she's going to lose regardless. I'm sorry, but go ahead, back on.
Well, but here she's already kind of putting that message out there now that if she doesn't win, that it could be possibly something that she could just pin on the brothers. Don't want that to happen.
Go ahead and do it.
And then the last thing I wanted to just speak on, I was just watching the Real Dana show, and she had a financial expert on there, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about, he broke down the Inflation Reduction Act, and they just talked about, again, don't fall for it. This bill is a nothing burger. It's not going to do anything for us. Certainly, it's just another gimmick, again, to get us out to the polls. With the end result of, them hiring all of these IRS agents to come back and start, really coming after the middle class people, to get more money out of those of us who are middle class. So anyway, those are the things that I wanted to touch on this evening. So I'll land. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate it. Stick around in case you have any more questions that you want to ask as well. Ray, go ahead, and then Original.
Peace to everyone in the room. I was just going to add, Newstoter, it seems like the closer we get to the election, it seems like the worse the signal gets. And as far as politicians go, I was thinking about this because, Biden's so unpopular. I'm hearing, I'm just trying to think. You think he would pick someone else to be his VP, considering his numbers are so low? Like, what do you think the Democrats might try to go next?
He doesn't want to rock the boat because, I don't know how many times have we had a sitting president go ahead and get rid of their vice president when running for re-election. So that would definitely look like a sign of weakness there if he got rid of Kamala at this point right here. So I don't think, I definitely don't think that he's going to do that. I mean, like I said, I just don't think that would be a good look for him at all if he was to go ahead and get rid of his sitting vice president. I know her numbers have bottomed out as well too. So that to me would just really not look so good or whatever. Kid Gravity, I'm trying to get you on. I don't know what's going on, bro. I'm hitting approve. I see you coming in and you going out. So okay, I see that you're in as a speaker. So, but yeah, Ray, just getting back to that point, I don't know how that would look. To me, that would look like a complete sign of that would look like that panicking. If you were to go ahead and get rid of it, just like that, almost the next worst thing would be is if somebody came in and they challenged the sitting president in the Democratic Party. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't look good. And you really, if you do that, you're going to really get worked over in the election. Just my personal opinion.
Do you think so? I mean, look at how horrible Biden's numbers have been. It seems like they will have to pick someone else if they're actually trying to save the election for 2024. It seems like it's gotten to that point.
But just in your opinion, and I know you're younger than I am, but since you've been voting and stuff, how many times have you seen, even when it looks like the president is going to be a lame duck president or whatever, and the president's not going to probably win, how many times have you seen that a sitting president goes ahead and it normally would have to be some kind of scandal or something, controversy surrounding that that a president or vice president leave a bad health or something like that. I personally can't see that possibly happening there. Like I say, they're already on shaky ground right now. So if you go ahead and you replace the sitting vice president, then it's like you get hit with aftershocks. Like the ground is totally like just coming apart and whatnot. Like you're sinking in quicksand. That to me, that would not be politically astute. Marcel, in your opinion, would that be a viable option for the Democrats to go ahead and can Kamala Harris and try to get somebody else as they plan for the 2024 election?
I mean, she doesn't help anything, but Kamala is not the problem. As much as I don't like her, the problem is the anti-black, mosquito face, senile, dumbass, anti-black, bagged, big bitch bastard that they have as quote-unquote president. He's the problem. So they can put Jesus Christ as the vice president. It ain't going to help. Nobody likes this guy. Okay? No one likes this man. The only reason he even got in office, if he truly got all those votes, is because more people hated Trump if not because people loved him. So, I mean, they all need to go. All of them need to go. And I keep hearing a lot of us come here and talking. I'm waiting to hear someone say, I'm going to run federally in my district. Okay? I think the House of Representatives is going to be easier, even though it's not easy, because then you're only dealing with around 700,000 people. Senate is statewide. I'm waiting to hear who's going to step up to the plate so we can apply pressure on these people, all corners. Because that's the only thing that's going to change. And really, I get exhausted with these conversations because I know it ain't going to change because it's only going to change when we stand up and we make the change. Somehow we think they're going to have a change of heart. They're going to look at it and see the humanity in us and their heart and tug at their heartstrings. That's not going to happen. We have to stand up and run on the platform that we deserve. That's where I am with this conversation. Nothing else is going to matter. Nothing. You know what? The best option we have right now is really if Donald Trump wants to run again. But it seems like they're trying to throw him in prison so that they can try to force us to vote for the segregationists we have right now. Because DeSantis is going to be awful if he runs and wins.
Yeah, DeSantis is a nutcase. He's a nutcase.
Even as bad as Trump may be, Trump wants to be liked and wants people's approval. So he'll do things for us just to get approval and say he's valuable, say he's cool with the blacks. DeSantis doesn't have any desire he doesn't care about having our approval. There's no other segregation and anti-black mosquito-faced female ambassador we have now. So we will have to step it up. And until then, I'm just whatever with this conversation. Not necessarily this space, but this conversation overall.
Marcel, since you've been on these Twitter spaces, have you come across anybody, and I'm going to kick it to you original, and I'm going to kick it to you, Kid Gravity, but have you come across anybody so far that told you that they plan on running for office yet?
Yes. Now, the people who have, though, one is for the presidency, which, hey, is pushing the platform, and the others have been for local. I'm thinking the best way we can get to federal office is House of Representatives. Like if I'm able to build up the financial infrastructure that I need, I can easily cover all of South Carolina District 6 with my thing that I was starting to do when I started the last time. And I only had 6 months.
All right. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I think
you're a little bit low, but if you could speak a little bit louder, that would help.
Okay, I think one of the things that we need to do is that, first of all, we have got to get control of these elected officials. That's first and foremost. And here is the reason why. There is a guy. He's running for governor of Maryland. His name is Wes Moore. Now, under his issues, he has this plot called A Bold Plan to Unlock Economic Opportunity for Maryland's Black Families. But then when you start reading it, he just says, in the message below, he just says for challenges that have held families back. And then when you read on further, he starts talking about, change and this, that, and whatever, and how it disproportionately affects Black and brown families. They play these twisted games with Black people, what they call, are you familiar, Newstoter, are you familiar with perception management?
Familiar with what, I'm sorry?
Perception management.
Perception management. I've heard the term before, but I'm not really that up on it.
Yeah, that's where it says perception management, managing the perception of others. And there's strategies that they use to, and that's what,
you break it, original, you're breaking up.
Okay, what about now?
You're still kind of breaking up. Go ahead and start back speaking.
That's what they've been using to manipulate Black people with for decades. And that's why I say, if you look at any Black candidate that's running for public office now, not one of them have a platform for Black people. They have a platform for the gay white folks, the illegal aliens, and Black folks get nothing. campaign where we are campaigning to the people themselves, letting them know how these people, like Big Swole, that's what I call Stacey Abrams, Big Swole, they're not going to do anything for you. All they want to do is take your vote and represent every demographic except for black people. And that has to stop. We cannot continue another election cycle with that going on. I mean, they think we're small in numbers, but I tell you what, if we develop a strategy whereby we are engaging people, we have a pamphlet showing them what the black elected officials have not done for us and how they take our vote and represent every other demographic. We have to show them that we are serious, and the quicker we do it, the better off we will be. And I'll end with that. I know you probably hear it.
All right, brother. Thank you. Kid Gravity, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I'll just quickly say this. Well, Queen Bee, you're talking to one black person who's actively making sure that Stacey does not win down in Georgia. Down here, we're not down. Clear peace for the LGBT, the white liberals, and AHBI. Second, that will kill within 2 years if she gets it. But also with that article you were talking about with the 87,000, I also just read something on New York Post that said not going after middle America, which we all know is a bullshit because between 2018 and 2021, a lot of us got money back from the IRS for whatever. We in 2019, the economy was booming like that. It gives regular Americans the access to do other things, create businesses, and have luxury. So they want that money back. So I would suggest for everyone, take your 2018 through your 2021 tax returns, pay the accountant a couple $100 and have them go over each return with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure there's no problems in there. Because they're talking about no audit for us, which is crap because they know we're going to have to pay for it. So please make sure that all your tax returns are straight and there's no irregularities, and if there is, try to get it done as quickly as you can.
Thank you. Marcel, let me ask you about the political climate in South Carolina. I've never been to South Carolina. What has changed to you just in terms of the people with you coming out and stuff and running and challenging Jim Clyburn? Have you seen a change in the actual perception, demeanor of black people in South Carolina now? Is it pretty much still the same status quo?
I mean, people are still apathetic. People are still depressed, it seems. People still don't have a lot of faith, and rightfully so, in this system to do right by us. But where I have seen it change is in the politicians here. They're the ones that are acting differently. You have some who are trying to make sure that someone like me can never die again. Some who are still trying to play that whole Black American voters and our needs are out of sight, out of mind. But then you have a lot of fellow Black South Carolinians who are actually in office, who are now, you would think, would be supposedly just getting like 5% of the vote, supposedly, and you already know how I feel about that. You would think that everyone would look at me and say, we want to stay far, far away from his platform. No, that's not happening. Now I got a flood of Black South Carolina Republicans and Democrats who want to speak with me, who want me to work with them, who want to elect me for positions, who want to put my name in a hat to be chosen for certain initiatives. So something's weird. Like if I really did so badly, why will all of these people who are actual office holders be wanting me to be present in the room? So I've seen the change. I've seen what can happen when just one person stands up, goes against the same old, runs on a message that to me is not bold, it's just the right message, but runs on a bold message it really does make a big difference. When I'm in the room, people sometimes start talking about our issues just because they know I'm going to say something if they don't. It makes a difference. That's why I'm saying for all of us to step up to the plate. If we don't step up to the plate, it's an automatic strike out. If we step up to the plate, we may have to swing once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. Eventually, we're going to hit that ball. So, yes, I've seen a change in the politicians, and that's really where it should come from, because they are elected to address our needs, and they are now talking more and more about our needs than I've ever heard. And I've also was able to get the South Carolinians that follow me to register for the South Carolina Black Caucus, and some of their relatives have registered as well. And the head of the Black Caucus, he's a reparationist, and one of his right-handed people, she is a reparationist. So no, there's really been a surge. I'm not necessarily going to say in reparations, but at least in doing policy specifically for Black Americans, and we are just getting started. So it does make a difference when we step up and we run. People sometimes don't believe in what we're saying until they see we believe in what we're saying by being willing to invest in it. And people can say what they want to say about me, but they saw that I've stood up and I worked my tail off and invested in what I believe in. Now other people are saying, wow, you know what, there's something there.
Here's a problem too I have, like when we look at somebody like Jim Clyburn, who's 80 some odd years of age, when we look at, and you look at the people running for president, with the exception of Sanders, you got 2 men that's closing in at 80 years of age, and Trump, if he runs again, and you got Biden, who right now likes he has to be led around the house just to know where he's at, and then you got Clyburn for the Black people, and you got Maxine Waters. Both of them are 80 some years of age. So I agree with you saying that hey, you see some new blood step up into it. I mean, if we really want to make change, then it's going to take people from the foundation, from the grassroots, actually stepping up, running for office. And I don't understand that it was seen at this particular time, because I believe that just by attrition that you're going to eventually wear Clyburn down. He's going to, I mean, how much longer can this guy do it? I mean, what is he going to serve, another term or something? He may be like Jesse Helms and term storming or whatever, but eventually, I mean, there's got to be a new chapter. A new chapter's coming. A new guard is coming. So I just don't see why we're not waiting in the wings right now to go ahead and just grab that position, grab that power. Because, like they say, real power is not given; it's taken. So I just don't understand why when we see people that's at the age right now with these people, if they were in regular society, if they had regular jobs or regular careers, they would have been retired 20 some years ago. And they still hanging on to that power that they've been given. It's almost like they've been given a position, almost like they're bored or something like that. So I just don't understand our people. I don't understand why we continually vote for people that we know. When I heard you when you were running and you was talking about your district, I think was the 4th or 5th poorest in the actual country, and this and that. And I talked to some people and stuff. I said, well, all Clyburn does really, he has his annual fish fry and stuff, and people are like, well, what's wrong with that? So you got to understand that he's at least giving people something, so they look forward to coming out there. What's wrong with giving you a piece of fish and this and that? And I was like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Are we seriously talking about a damn fish fry? That's like, even if he had a damn annual barbecue, what does that do for the people? What does that do for when your house is worth 2-3 times less than the national average? When you're making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 less than the national average, when the transportation, the public transportation in your house is lagging behind, and like it's almost back in the 60s or 70s or something, how does that benefit you as a people? So our people, I just don't sometimes understand why refuse to step up. And like you said, in South Carolina, I was in one of the spaces you were in earlier, and you were saying that there's no way that South Carolina's population is. And I know you said it was much more Black people that have been given credit for that. If you looked at the actual population of South Carolina, it's got at least about 40% Black. That's a lot of Black people in the state. We are still looking, like you said, to get that Black majority state. But even if we get that Black majority state, what are we going to do with it? Because are we going to be like the people over there in South Africa that have majority, but yet they still have no power? So what are we going to do once we do have the numbers in one of these southern states where we outnumber the people? Are we going to be the governors? Are we going to be the mayors? Are we going to be the sheriffs and the councilmen and the commissioners and all this other stuff? Because if not, then it's all for naught. It doesn't really matter. So that's my thing. I just don't understand. As a black man myself, I don't understand why. And like I say, the power is right there. It seems like it's right within our grasp, but it keeps slipping between our fingers. So when are we going to actually grab it and take a hold of it? Jason, I see Jason Walker. You requested to come up here and speak. Was there anything that you wanted to add? I saw that you requested to speak. Was there anything that you wanted to add to the discussion?
Yeah, definitely. I just came in the room and I'm just soaking up, what you guys are talking about. I definitely do want to, add to the conversation, but let me just soak up a little bit more because I like soaking in the information so far.
Okay, well, we're pretty much just talking about black politicians in general. So whenever you want to step up and speak, we're talking about, and like I said, it's not limited to the people that's in the screen. We're talking about Warnock, Abrams, Booker, Waters. I mean, if any other in original, he was talking about the mayor, I believe, in D.C. or whatever. So any black politician is pretty much fair game on if you think they're doing a good job, if you think they're lacking, what could be done, this and that. It's pretty much an open mic for anybody that wants to come up here. DJ, are you there? Hey, DJ, are you? I don't know if you up in the house. DJ there?
Yeah, I'm here. I apologize. Still working, brother. Still working. What's up, everybody? What's going on, Marcel? What's up, Kid Gravity? What's up, everybody? Reparations up.
DJ, I know you a couple times you met Cory Booker and stuff. What was your opinion of him? Because I know you met him at one of the reparation marches or something like that, or something, I believe.
Just to run it back again, Ras Baraka's a coon. He turned his back when I told him reparations should be lineage based. Shout to Sister Creswell saying he got some tethers in his family, but I guess that's what it is. But he's from the block over here. He Black American straight up. But he be on some coon stuff, and he's selling the black people out up here. He giving all the homes that go back through the city through mortgages not being paid, liens, and all that other stuff. You give the people of the town, the city, an opportunity to rebuy them at 50%, 25%, whatever the cost is. He's selling it to the foreigners. This is why we got a lot of foreign investors that's buying up the farmland from, tri-state area all the way up over there to North and South Dakota. Where military bases at, this is a problem. Payne Jr., who's a councilman, his father was Donald Payne Sr., I guess. He did a lot of good stuff for North, but Payne Jr. saying we can't get reparations unless we go through HR 40. But hold up, sorry, HR 40 is nothing more than a study. So, and Sheila Jackson is not one of our people. So, how do you figure that? And then Cory Booker, obviously he's the governor or whatever. I mean, Senator Booker. So he has, a lot of people to shake hands with and all this other stuff. And he's smiling showboat. But Cory on the bricks as far as being raised, his family, is here from here too, as well as DC, I believe. And he listened to me. Reparations should be lineage based. I said a couple other things to him. We shook hands. Photo op and all that other stuff. So it was what it was with Cory. But, folks been trying to talk to Cory as far as like, hey, look, this, that, and the third, Newark. Newark is a big city. It's a lot to go on here. So, he one person. He can't get everything done. You know what I mean? I understand that he's still in his black position, I guess. But I don't know what's up with these candidates as far as jokers up here in the North. They don't do a damn thing for us. So to yield my plane, I'll talk about one more candidate, Imani Oakley. For those that don't know, she is the Olympic gold medalist fencing champion. So she's from right here in the bricks. I know her, folks. I'm not campaigning for you because you're not talking the same rhetoric Marcel's talking. You're not talking about reparations. You're not talking about closing the border. You're talking about helping everybody else except for your own people, Imani. So why should I advocate for you? I'll yield there. What's up, bro?
Yeah, definitely. Marcel, where's your link? I'm going to say, brother, put your link in there so people can go ahead and donate to you or whatever. If you have it on hand, go ahead, please put it in the Jumbotron so people can go ahead and donate so we can keep it going with you.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you don't have to, like, when you come up in this space, like I say, you fam, so you don't even have to ask, man. Just go ahead and say, I'm going to put my link up in there, and it's all good. Like, no doubt. Kid Gravity, go ahead and unmute your mic. Kid Gravity, before we get to you, let's let Jason, because he hasn't had a chance to talk. Also, guys, make sure you're following the host and the co-host, and make sure everybody in there should be following Marcel. Definitely, you definitely should be also following Newstoter, the largest curator of Black news today in America. Please go ahead and follow us in the Jumbotron. We have our links to the Facebook, to Newstoter's Facebook, Instagram, to the Facebook group that we have as well. So please, we have the links to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel. We need to try to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I think got like 390 something. So if everybody in here, go ahead and subscribe to Newstoter's YouTube channel. That definitely helped get us there. So please go ahead. And not only that, subscribe to the Facebook. We need more Facebook followers. Subscribe to the Instagram. We got like 900 some Instagram followers. We need to get to that 1,000. So please go ahead and subscribe to everything that's in the Jumbotron. Also, we have the Cash App in there. That's $Newstoter. $Newstoter. If you have $1 that you want to contribute, this is Black Business Month. If you want to throw $1 to the largest Black-owned news curator, that would definitely help. So please go ahead and support us as much as possible. Make sure you donate to Brother Marcel. So when 2024 comes back, the man can be in position. This time he ain't gonna be doing it just for 6 months. He's gonna have a full year, 2 years worth of steam that we're gonna roll into Old Jimbo. So please go ahead and support our candidates, support the Black businesses. That's how we stay afloat. We can't ask Mr. Charlie for it because Mr. Charlie don't give a damn. Jason, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I appreciate the room, Newstoter and Marcel. Shout out to the family, FBA all day, every day. I wanted to ask you real quick, brother, have you? Because I know about your campaign in South Carolina. I've been, a lot of us in the room been following it heavy. Are there any other candidates that you came across that you met in any other states that's grassroots level that's running on the reparations campaign? Because I'm just curious to know, have you met anybody that's aspiring to run in different states?
I'm meeting with someone Friday.
Okay, what state are they in? I'm not gonna. I know they probably
He's in South Carolina.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking about this Newstoter. I mean, I know you have your platform. I've been following it for a minute, man, and it's definitely a godsend to have a finally a Black-owned, FBA-owned that's putting out positive information instead of Madame Noir and all these other shade rooms that's not FBA that only want to put out the negative imagery of Black America. Shout out to you, man. I just wanted to ask you that, Marcel. And one thing I want to say is, because I'm right here in Texas, so you already know what we're dealing with, right here in Houston, man. It's Sheila Jackson Lee. She is just like the Boule. And I really came to realization that this is really what we're dealing with. We're dealing with what I saw Marcel deal with when he was running with he was dealing with a machine, but he was also dealing with like a evil secret society fraternity / sorority, because this is what we've been dealing with, with over here in Texas, for 30 years. Sheila Jackson, pretty much kind of similar to the Clyburn event every year, a few events, should I say. But it's really nothing, benefiting, the grassroots here in Texas. When it came down to the reparations talk, she was really more so for, making sure everybody get it, kind of like a pan-Africanism way of thinking, immigrants, everybody, in the diaspora get it, and not just grassroots. So it's just, I don't know, man. All these Black ain't good enough. Black, if you're a Black politician, it's not enough. I was looking at Stacey Abrams, the event that she had recently with all Black men or something like that, and some of the Black men, they were asking her questions, and she was just kind of babbling and going around it, and just kind of like, hey, well, I can do the nay-nay, just giving ass kiss, answers, but not really giving anything direct. So anybody, like Marcel, we got to figure out who are these grassroots candidates, because there's other candidates that I'm doing my research on. They don't have the backing. They don't have, the financial, following, but they're trying to do grassroots things, just like Brother Marcel. So I don't know, Newstoter, if there's a way where we could start highlighting other, politicians that's running in different states, that's FBA grassroots level. I just want to kind of pitch that out there, Newstoter.
Well, I'm sure it is. And one thing that we curate, so some of our sources may not pick it up. So if you guys have that, and that, putting stuff out and whatnot, and try to spread the word, and even get people up in spaces, and try to do some interviews with them and see their perspective, and let them network and socialize with the people. So definitely, if we definitely know people that we feel have our interests in heart and whatnot, and like I say, even if it's not covered on Newstoter, because I don't even pretend that we have all the information. We have some information, but nobody has a monopoly on information. If you guys know stuff, because sometimes you guys tell me stuff that, hey, that's not even on the site. Like, hey, did you just hear this? I'm like, well, no, I ain't hear. Thanks for letting me know. Like, so definitely go ahead, and you can always DM me and let me know, well, hey, here's this candidate out of so-and-so. I heard this candidate speak. I heard a YouTube channel, this and that, and this person was speaking some good stuff or whatever, and this and that. Like,
Right.
yeah, man, and also reach out to people as well too. If you know that this person has a certain perspective and whatnot, and they're trying to get out there, whatever, to the masses. Like I say, Marcel, he was an unknown, and look how Marcel came up in a matter of months. That this man got national attention. Like I said, Marcel was in Time, and he was on all kind of Fox and interviews and this and that. So definitely
So-
let him know. I heard Marcel when he was on Tariq's Twitter space, and I was like, yeah, like this brother's like serious. So definitely go ahead and let us know. I tell people that go ahead and DM us and let me know or whatever.
So what I'm gonna do, Newstoter, man, I'm gonna get with you on the back end, because I know a couple of people that's really aspiring to run. And if we can get them in a room and talk to them, figure out what was a black agenda, just giving them ideas and seeing where their head is, just to kind of, because I'm not gonna lie, we have to get to a point where we have to start vetting these people while they're in the process of running. And we got to figure this out. Where's your head at when it comes to the grassroots, when it comes to, your people? So I'm going to reach out to you on the back end, my man, and just get with you on that.
Definitely do that. Like I say, yeah, you're right. We have to vet. We have to see exactly. We want people that have that black agenda. Also have that reparationist mindset as well too, and stuff. So definitely do that. And like I say, let's go ahead and let's use what we can together to go ahead and try to extend our agenda and whatnot. So let's definitely do that. Kid Gravity, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I know that rally might be going down October the 15th in DC. I was kind of watched because I feel like the Democrats have their black bills over there to try to distort the message. But I started saying like abortion and certain stuff is FDA rights. So all politicians that want to gain their FDA or ADOS levels start doing it now just so they can secure some votes. So I would, if you guys do go, I would kind of watch it.
You kind of breaking up a little bit there, Kid Gravity. I can get what you're saying, but I can pretty much tell you right here, right now, what's going to be on the Democrat platform when they get ready to run in 2024. They're going to talk about abortion. That's going to be that. The abortion now is the number one issue about protecting a woman's right to choose. So they're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about immigration. They're going to talk about how Abbott is up there sending migrants to DC and this and that, how they're destroying families and all of this and that and that. They're going to talk about how they was able to get a black woman in the Supreme Court. They're going to talk about they're going to talk about all of the minorities and stuff that they appointed to Joe Biden's cabinet. White women, black women, this and that they got the first black Supreme Court justice in the history. And so I've seen this show before. I've seen this before. So I pretty much know exactly the little platform that they're going to run on here, how they was able to halt COVID and whatnot. We were able to halt the COVID virus, and we were able to stop we were able to get the economy back up and this and that. Even though we had inflation and we had a mini recession, we were able to get everything back. And look at all the jobs we created. We created 500,000 jobs in the month of June and all this other stuff. Jobs that don't pay squat. Seasonal jobs.
They take credit for generic stuff. That don't benefit us at all.
So, like I say, I pretty much already know how this game is going to be played, and anybody that's in this spot that's 35 and up pretty much knows how it's going to be played or whatever. So, I already know how Biden's going to pat himself on the back and this and that, and you're going to also have a bunch of black people come out there too, and they're going to sit up there and they're going to go right along with this nonsense. Unfortunately, I mean that's just the way it is. So, DJ, go ahead and unmute your mic. DJ, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you got your hand up.
Oh, I do. My bad. No, I'm over here listening.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you had your hand up, so I didn't know if you wanted to say something, anything. Does any of the speakers want to say anything else? Any of the speakers want to say anything else? Because if not, we're not going to keep it a long space. Like I said, we're going tomorrow based on reverse migration to the south, trying to create a super black state. So definitely, like I said, if Marcel's not busy, that's what we definitely want to hold a space on tomorrow. Something a little bit different. We got Black Majority State that he's an expert on that. We got Marcel. He's passionate about that. So that's definitely something that we want to speak on tomorrow. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, what I want to say is this. I want when everybody gets a chance, just do a search. We're still out there because sometimes things disappear. But do a search for perception management wiki and scroll down to where it says strategies. And I want you to. There are 9 strategies of these perception management. I don't want to read them because it'll take a little bit of time. But just read those strategies and you will see what I'm talking about. How these people have been manipulating black people. These are war strategies because what most people don't understand, white people wage war against us. We didn't do anything to them. And when you read these strategies, you can see exactly how they have been able to win. And all I'm saying is that we can take those same strategies and use them to benefit us. And and also someone mentioned the boule. Yeah, that's what most of these people are because see, I was at the Good Life when all this boule stuff came down. But you can still read that initial article. Just type in Karen Grigsby Bates boule article, and exactly because Steve Coakley exposed all of these people and how they have been working against our betterment. And they got really pissed off. And this is what I'm saying that we're going to have to do. Use that same strategy that Steve Coakley used. And we're going to have to start exposing these black candidates and black elected officials. Because Maxine Waters, when that the issue came down with the government putting crack cocaine in the black community, now, initially, she came out there to help us, and she was going to do something. And as soon as they they went after Bill Clinton. She dumped us. She dumped black folks and said that she had to go save Bill Clinton. Now, when the Republicans were going after her because she was on some banking committee or something, she was accused of doing something. They went after her as well as her son, I think her husband too. Unless they did it privately, I did not see Bill or Hillary coming to her aid. These are nothing but some bootlicking fools that sit up here and they protect these white folks, and we get nothing. We put the black folks put them in office, and we don't benefit from that. So I just want to say we just going to have to go after them and develop a marketing campaign and go directly to the people and let them know and see how many of them that we can pull away from them and put them out to the pasture. And I'll land with that.
No doubt. Appreciate your original. Definitely thank you. Evie, I see that you requested to come up here. Is there something that you would like to add?
Not really. I came in on the late freight. I just came into the room. So I have no idea what's going on. Just walked in. So as they say, I'll land right here, dear.
I want to ask an original question. If we do a marketing campaign, my thing is...
Marcel, I think he lost connection.
Okay, well, I wanted to say, my thing is, like, we talk about, like, the campaigns, go to the people, pull the people away. Okay, where are they going to go once we pull them away, though? That's the thing, go where? So they don't vote for these terrible, awful candidates, but then what do? Just sit there and pray things get better next go around? If we can organize the get our people away from these pathetic candidates, then we can organize to get one of our candidates in office. If we pull them away from these awful candidates, we can just take them over to one of our built from the ground candidates. That is why I'm saying the solution lies in office. If we don't do that, this is never going to change. We don't seem to be getting that.
Yeah, I don't think we have been getting that too well either. I don't think we've really been getting that too much either. Is there any other speakers or anybody that wants to come up and add to the discussion?
Hey, let me piggyback off of Marcel Tyler. So, I've showed a lot of these candidates up here in Jersey. You know, they text the hell out of my phone because I'm a registered Democrat, you know, and I've campaigning before, so, you know, I'm logged in the system or whatever. And I show these folks, hey, look, reparations, Black State of America, you know, CPS issues with our children, you know, the music business is an issue to me personally because, you know, everything that is music that we know of today, modern day music, jazz, hip hop, R&B, rock, bebop, house, whatever, that's our shit. We don't own any of it. So when you go to these candidates, original, I forgot who it was that was talking there a second ago, is saying about the marketing campaign. So you could tell these folks till you blue in the face about what's really going on out here in the world. And they will turn their back on you and turn their shoulder and roll their eyes, just like Ras Baraka, Mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Brick City in the building, you know what I mean?
I can't stand him. I can't stand that guy.
Straight coon, yo, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm trying to get some of these sisters up here, Marcel, from over on the Facebook, that be down in the streets over here in the bricks running around, doing grass heavy. I'm trying to get them up over here, because, man, let me tell you, they be bombing Rod's ass. They be on him, like prey, hunted to a prey. You know what I mean? Real talk. He's selling us out. Lionsgate Studios, the movie film production company, is coming to this old Seth Boynton projects. When I tell you this lot of land is humongous. Y'all waited all these years instead of trying to redevelop the housing and maybe knock the projects down, obviously, and just build regular housing there. The park is right there, Weekway Park. Y'all set a company that's going to gentrify the shit out of the neighborhood. And the one argument that, or narrative rather, that I'm trying to tell the folks that's in the community Facebook groups, how many Black American folk you know right here in Newark, or you know, Essex County, Jersey, whatever tri-state area, that got the skills for those jobs at Lionsgate. So we're talking movie production, audio engineer, lighting technician, all that other stuff, right? Not many. I'm in the class by myself here in Jersey. The only folks that I know are all the folks that do music that went to school and got educated in this shit. So basically, our folks, the only job that's going to be left at that Lionsgate is the janitor and the security guard. That's it. So why y'all want this facility coming over here? You had a better chance of telling Amazon to come to Newark. If that was the case, at least anybody will have an opportunity to go get a job, and nobody will have to complain about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that we don't want Lionsgate over here. Okay, you're taking over a section of the hood that's Black American. How many of these jobs are we going to be guaranteed when this facility is built? And it ain't coming no time soon. Probably like 2025, 2030, who knows? But the contract is on the table. But again, like you said, you can't stand Ross Marcel. And a lot of folks that are out of state or, you know, other parts of the country and the world, when I talk about Newark Mayor, they be like, wow, really? For real? Like, damn, I didn't know that. Y'all thought he was a great guy. Hell no. Fuck that name. You know what I'm saying? For real. Fuck that name. You know what I mean? For real. And at the end of the day, only thing you can do is, you know, like you said, Marcel, put your damn best foot down for it and put your foot in the game, man. You know what I mean? You know, I would do it, but I'm a multi-time felon, so I ain't running for nothing. You know what I mean? But I'll back a motherfucker that's talking this shit. Roz ain't gonna never talk that because he a DNC plant. He made Newark a sanctuary city without the vote of the people. Newark ain't never been no sanctuary city. We had a race war up here during the Newark riots. Is you crazy? White folks didn't want us around them. They fled to the hills of Livingston and Whitechung and all this other shit. Now that Newark is revitalizing this building we've been building, building this shit up ourselves, along with the Prudential Center, you feel, or the Prudential Insurance Company, because they've been in Newark for well over 70 years, 80 years, something like that. So they're like an institution here. They've done a lot of revitalization on their own, but Ross is selling out North to foreign development. The LLC boys, that's the foreigners right there. And just to yield my plane, I had a little conspiracy theory, because Bill Gates is doing the same thing. He's buying up all the land. But what if Bill Gates is actually buying up all this farmland to combat the foreigners buying up the land? Now Congress, in Washington rather, they see that as a problem now. They see it now. So I don't know, man. At the end of the day, vote these jokers out that ain't talking reparations. Black state of America ain't talking black people shit, black American shit. We don't talk else right. Because nobody else care about us, especially up here in the tri-state area. I can assure you of that one. Go ahead, though.
AD, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one last thing.
Hold on real quick. I want to say that Barack Coon is a coon. You know how I know he's a coon? Because I was in a space one time, he was talking about reparations, and at first, like you said, I thought he was like for the people. But then he started, that's why I don't clap until the end of the show. So I always tell my students, don't clap until the end of the show, because you never know how it's going to end. And then he tried to shoehorn, black and brown. I wrote in that chat, ain't no damn black and brown people on the rice plantations down here in South Carolina. He gonna respond to me, they are Afro-Latino. This is why we need to learn our history. I have the screenshots of it somewhere. I went ballistic on him. Then I emailed his office. Then I was calling him. He tried to do that little up north. You're north, I'm from the north. That New Jersey, New York thing you tried to do. Like you tried to do North Holland, like you a tough guy. I was writing him. I called him. I told him, answer his phone. I said, bring me up and challenge me. So yeah, he's a cool. A disrespectful one too.
Wait, he tried to throw brown people into the actual reparation discussion.
Hey, let me get it right there.
Then when I called him out on it, he gonna talk about something. They're Afro-Latino. That got a goddamn thing to do with the descendants of people enslaved.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Hey, Todd. There's another joker named Ryan Hayward, or whatever his name is. If you ever see him in a space, he works for the New Jersey Institute. You too, Marcel, or anybody that's down in the chat. He works for the New Jersey Institute of Social Justice. So they were the ones who put together the Juneteenth march on Juneteenth weekend for reparations. But when you go and look at the flyer, and I'll try to post it in the Jumbotron before you close out the show, when you look at the flyer, African colors, and when you look at the people that sponsored the event, the AAPI community, ACLU, Hispanic Caucus, City of Newark, who definitely don't care about nobody, you know what I mean? So I had never heard since the ADOS inception, these people that are sponsoring this so-called Juneteenth reparations rally march ever speak about reparations in New Jersey. Ever. The only person that I could give a pass to, and that's only because he's been here for a while, is Senator Ronald Rice. That he was the originator of the reparations bill right here in the state of New Jersey. But now there seems to be these two bills. One is A938, New Jersey, I guess, and the other one I think is S368, New Jersey, I believe it is. So the S368 is Ronald Rice, and the other A938 reparations bill for the state of New Jersey is these black, well, I'll say melanated one. I'm going to say that because I don't know where they're from. I think one of them is Black American just based off our last name, but I've been trying to get at them. They don't even respond. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, reparations in the tri-state is a grift. This is why I was saying to other FBA ADOS folk, like Devon from Brooklyn, Tony Block, we need to form a trilateral reparations commission up here in the tri-state. Here's the reason why. Come back from the DMV back in 2010. Because of the recession, thanks for nothing, Obama. I don't blame you for that, but it's still your fault because you ain't helped the Negroes. You feel what I'm saying? and I voted for your ass twice, man. So since I moved back here since 2010, everybody and their mama just scrambled up out of Jersey. Out of the tri-state. It's like we had a mass migration like we did, post-slavery, Jim Crow days, you know what I mean? And mass migrated throughout the country. We had a mass migration back down to the South already. So 2010 and 2020, we had a lot of folks move back down South for obvious reasons. I can't afford to live here. The cold weather, I'll get to my bones. I'm older now. I need some sun more. Stuff like that. Like I said, I can't afford to live here. And then obviously the immigration issue is a real big problem up here, especially to black men. I had to stop my neighbor a couple of months ago now from literally throwing her son out the house and just kicking him to the curb. Yes, he's a grown man, but mama, he's looking for a job. I see the man go out every day. And eventually he did find one. He's working at the airport, thank God. But you don't understand, mama, that these illegals ostracize us from getting any type of employment up here. I believe I'm in the employment system as red flag because I had a white broad, you know what I'm saying, report to unemployment after I took the job but realized New Jersey Transit changed the bus route schedule because, it's a seasonal thing up here, you know what I mean, with the bus times, and moved it up an hour. So the bus is not coming 5 in the morning. If you expect me to be here by 6 and knowing I got to hop another bus to come back up the main avenue once I get to the strip, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to make it here. I got a renege on a job. Sorry. She put down in an unemployment paper that I refuse work, yo. So even though I had a tribunal hearing and all that other stuff and wound up getting my unemployment, when I go fill out other applications with the folks that are managers at certain retail establishment, know that I know my shit, I can't get a job, bro. So that only lets me know I'm red flag, yo, in the system. And that's because of these tellers and these white folks, yo. We got to get away from these people, man, up here. Because you hear people like Eric Adams, oh, we need help with the illegal immigration, this, that, and the third. Oh, Governor Abbott, why you sending these folks up here, Come on, man. That man done told Biden, yo, I want people up out of here. You better send me some extra help for the border situation. Biden, Jim Crow Joe, you ain't doing nothing. All right, well, I'm going to pack these people up, put them on the bus, and then they go have a nice little trip in the nation's capital. They go have a nice trip in the Big Apple. They ain't going to do nothing but come across the Hudson over here on the PATH train to they folks and family over here in Jersey because I got to call him a cracker, nigga. Governor Murphy made New Jersey a sanctuary city. So with that, Marcel, being said, I've tried looking up some information on this. How is it possible that these politicians are able to make a state or a city or a town a sanctuary city or state without the vote of the people? If you can answer that. But I'll yield there, man. Yeah, Roz is a coon. And if you got his number, Marcel, hit me in the DM. I'm about to pass it to my big mamas and them so they prank call him and all that.
No doubt, DJ, you was going in on that one there, bro. Like, you was definitely going in on that one. Anybody else want to add anything to this?
Also, the way a sanctuary city works, the mayor has control pretty much of the police force, right? So a mayor just pretty much orders the police not to inquire of an illegal citizenship status. So that's pretty much what a sanctuary city. And then if you're really going full-blown anti-Black American, they will then set aside resources for illegal immigrants. Everyone gets a sanctuary except for Black Americans in the nation we built. And I'm sick of it. And by the way, I think you should run for office because look, we all are different people and our people are not a monolith. Black America is not a monolith. So someone may not relate to me and my story, what I represent, and they may relate to you. But sometimes people don't always necessarily pay attention to the platform in which we're running. They pay attention to the personality and if they like that person for better or for worse. I just want to say that.
AD, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I was just gonna add. I think speaking from someone who's day 22, particularly what I've seen over the years in my age group is the lack of. I think part of it is like in their heart they want to do the right thing, but a lot of their attention is just on the wrong things, and a lot of their attention, a lot of information comes only at like surface value, right? Particularly how like my generation is pretty much bought in with entertainment. A lot of entertainment figures like rappers, celebrities, a lot of these talk show hosts and all that kind of stuff. So I think that we as a people have to unlearn a lot of habits, right? A lot of that kind of starts with just maybe some of us, not all, in our household. Particularly and also in school, because they'll teach you about the system like minimalistically, but or to a minimal. But when it comes to understanding how to work through the system, right, with economics and politics, they gatekeep all that information. So, even if it's like I appreciate like I learned a lot from like Martin and a lot of other black grassroots YouTubers and people on Twitter, on Facebook, politicians. Well, not really politicians, but you know what I mean. A lot of our habits is that we look at information at surface value, right? But a lot of us, even when it comes to selecting like the like right candidates, it's kind of like they want to do good for themselves in the community, but they don't even. Some people don't really understand like how that goes about, right? Or even being exposed to someone like Marcel, who fights for black people and not just saying stuff out of their ass like all these other politicians. So I don't have all the knowledge of how to do that necessarily because I haven't lived enough life yet to really see everything from like being on the ground and doing it like in person. But once I'm learning and starting to push a lot of it out, I want like particularly my kids and my all that kind of stuff to start voting on single based issues and what directly affects their communities and other black communities around it instead of just generic policies on a national level that don't affect us really. But while a lot of us are in poverty, a lot of us struggle with even on a day to day, and not always look at politics and being apathetic towards it. And I understand the history of why it is a lot of these things are, but I'm more interested. Like for example, a lot of it's really kind of being done now, but I like the process of us breaking down how we think and breaking down the foundation and putting a new foundation of how to think and move and think for ourselves. So instead of all these other groups and all these policies and all these other countries which don't affect us. That's all I want to say.
No doubt, no doubt. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of got this. I heard what Marcel was saying. Well, my point is kind of this. Okay, in order for us to get a person like Marcel into a position, I think we're going to have some type of campaign or something to try to reach people who are like empathetic against voting, and let them know that we have a candidate who is pro-black and is not ashamed of being pro-black. So if we can begin to do it, if we can begin to reach out, because people like in the past when Jim Crow Joe, the date that they were supposed to go, because I was a regular voter. Someone knocked on my door that day of the general election here in Georgia, and I didn't answer my door. And they can see if you have voted or not. And I was like, no, I'm not voting. And so when I encounter some of these people, sometimes they would send me text messages and things, and I would always respond, "What are you going to do for black folks?" And so I guess they've gotten tired because they know that I'm not going to budge. So they no longer send me text messages. And I put the shit up, but I know it may sound kind of Pollyanna or whatever, but I think we're gonna have some type of format of something as to when we have people. I mean, just like in the district where I live, or the 5th congressional district, it's like I think it's about 700,000 people in the district. And the last person who won that seat, that John Lewis, and see when John Lewis would win, he'd only win like about maybe 100,000 votes or so, or something like that. So they're who had tuned out. But I think if we give them something that will be, and the person that won this time, She only got like, I think, a little over 300,000 votes. So if we can communicate with those people who are empathetic, as many as possible, there may be a chance to to get someone into a district like that. And what I want to say to DJ, he talked about people not having skills. There is a website. It's called W3Schools with an F.com. One of my nieces who's in college, she came to me. She said, "Uncle, I have to take a coding class, and I'm scared. I don't know what to do." And so I gave her this site, and I told her to get that basic platform down, the doc type, and all of that. Get that down packed, and when you go through your other steps, it will come through. It'll come to you. I said, if you get stuck on something, just go to YouTube and say, "How do I do whatever, and whatever application, whatever application you're using." This right here is free. It's no charge. It's free. It's basically it teaches you how to build a web page. But coding is coding, and it's basically you turn things off and turn. It's like a toggle switch. You turn it off and you turn it on. So if there's anyone who is looking for some kind of coding training, go to this site. Or if your child is looking for some coding training, go to this site, and then you will be able to assist yourself or your child or whomever coding training. And I'll land with that.
Go ahead and DM me that as well too, original. So if you don't mind, go ahead and DM me that site to the actual coding as well, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up soon, so we're gonna take a couple more speakers. AD, you got your hand up, so go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, this is real quick. Back on piggyback on Original Blood. So I do IT, and I have I can DM y'all, like, I have a whole template, a whole CCNA and Security Plus certifications. Pretty much like the whole course where you can like learn all the material on your own. CCNA 1, 2, and 3, and CompTIA Security Plus. So if y'all are interested in those resources, it comes in PowerPoint, and it comes in with it's like an online simulation of like your own networks, and being able to understand like your routers, your switches, your subnetting, your VLANs, your STP, your Ether channels, all that kind of stuff. You could like literally like so you can be you will be ahead of the game so much. You can take sorry, that's my kid. You'll be so like, if you're into that, right? And if you have maybe you have kids or you have friends and all that kind of stuff from school. Instead of paying $40,000 to do the same course, you can do it for yourself and learn all the material. And when it comes time to, like, let's say after a year, you know all of it, go and take the course and bam. I'm already getting offers like right now for me to. I just got Security Plus, so I mean, if you're interested, I can just help out.
Definitely, we appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Carolyn, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I was looking at a tweet that tweeted out like a flyer about they're talking about reparations. I can easily tell. I can't really speak Spanish, but I can easily tell. It's in Spanish, and I was wondering, did anybody else see that, or did you guys already discuss it because I came in late? It's Camilla Moore is like that lady from California. She liked it and everything. I go, why are they having a meeting about reparations in Spanish? So
yeah, I saw you tweet that out, but no, we actually I didn't know that until I saw you just tweet that out. So no, we actually didn't discuss that tonight. I didn't know about it until I actually saw you tweet that out. So no, I didn't know anything about it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, because I mentioned I don't know any slaves. It might have been, I don't know. You guys tell me. Did you know of any? Because they never showed it, even on the movie, that they spoke Spanish. So why are they having a meeting about reparation? They're always trying to undermine whatever. I don't care. They really want that money. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't. Unless they brought some slaves over here because at times, they did bring slaves from the Caribbean and South America here to America. So I don't know if that's possible. But no, for the most part, no slaves can be Spanish. It's pretty much English. So very few Very few slaves that have been speaking any kind of Spanish at all here.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what is they just determined? Okay. All right, thank you. I'm done.
No problem, no problem. Anybody else? Like I said, we're going to be closing the space out in a second. So if anybody else wants to ask, we'll take one or two more speakers, and then we're going to go ahead and close the space out. If anybody wants to come on up here, come on up here now.
Let me piggyback off of what original said a second ago. So the problem is original. It's not about the lessons or learning or getting an education or the degree. I got multiple degrees on the wall. Show me where's the jobs at, bro. There are no jobs after you come out of school as a black person. You feel what I'm saying? Some of us may luck up and get a job here in the IT field and all that. But guess what? You still going to have to deal with the tethers. You're going to have to deal with the white supremacy on the job. So this is why I'm in this tech space trying to help us build our own instead of always go to the white access holder mentality. And Carolyn, just on the Spanish fly the reparations, yeah, that's Sister Friday Jones right there. But she going there to combat everything. That I can assure you. She ADOS sister all day. You know what I mean? So the one thing we gotta understand. So if you look in the jumbotron, I posted your flyer there, or Sister Friday Jones flyer about the reparations. So y'all can look at that if you want. And if you go just from the left hand side end, you'll see another one where it say Ras Baraka reparations. Look at that one right there, Sister Carolyn. The green flyer with the green Pan-African trimming. So we have the same issue going on over here on the East Coast, but it's not an AB 3121 type reparations. They are including Latinos in the New Jersey reparations bill. For what reason, I have no idea. Henceforth, why I said Ross, he turned his back on me and rolled his eyes and kept walking with a security team. The moment I said, hey, how you doing, sir? There, reparations should be lineage-based. And he just like rolled his eyes and kept walking. So I just stayed on his shoulder like, yeah, take this flyer. Yeah, reparations. Mess with my sister Angela out in California, reparations perspective. I'm running it down on him. Real talk, because I already know how you walk. You know what I mean? You're one of these niggas from over here on the block that think you better than everybody else because you got a little bit of power, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Niggas from right here on the block come see you any day they feel like. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nobody special, bro. You know what I mean? Niggas know who you is, bro. We got the same family and friends that went to, our grandmothers went to church together, nigga type shit. You know what I mean? So don't act like you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Sister Carolyn, Joe Biden himself said, you would not get reparations unless we give it to the Native Americans. I would not do anything for black people unless we do it for the Hispanic illegals that's coming across the border. Basically, you're going to have to learn to work with these people. So it made no sense for black people after he said that shit, and this was still before the election, to go vote for him. So my argument is, again, Original Blood, back to you and the education stuff. It ain't about the education. It's about one thing. As far as you can go learn whatever you want, coding. You can learn that for free on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can pick up any book or any article and start learning how to do audio engineering and movie production and learning how to grow food. You can look that up anywhere. You ain't got to go to school nowadays. YouTube, the new school. They are giving these jobs to these tethers. I've been fired multiple times from work because of a tether. I was thinking about that shit the other day. I lost a lot of jobs, not because I did anything wrong. It's because of what somebody else did. But I still got to blame myself because there is an accountability issue where it's that, I may not have to get loud on your ass and make it seem like I'm a threat to you, even though you're threatening me. Because you know how we do. You ain't going to out-talk me, knowing damn well I didn't do anything wrong. So, like I said, I'm red flagged in this, but I haven't really worked in 12 years. I just be looking for little oddball jobs. I'm my own boss. I got my own studio I'm sitting in right now talking to you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Original, we can learn all the coding we want, AD and Original. Who gonna hire us, yo, and keep us in position? And I'm not even just talking the whole of us. I'm talking about just us black men. Because black women, they can get a job anywhere they feel like it. They not ostracized like we're ostracized. And I'm not trying to separate it and make it a gender thing. But it's already been done. You can trace this shit back to the feel me on that. I yield.
That's not really true though. When I haven't found that to be true for me, but maybe the
I
other
was going to say, yeah, I don't think, yeah, I know, like, yeah, that's the thing that I was going to say. You know, I think I might be blacklisted myself because, you know, I made the unforgivable sin of standing up for us. Well, let me tell you, I'm glad it's unforgivable, and I seek no forgiveness for it. Now, I will do it again. And if we had our own economic base, we may not have had much during the days of Jim Crow and redlining, not because of any fault of our own, but because of Jim Crow and redlining, but we had our own economic base. So if I lost a job because these anti-black bigots, Neanderthals tried to use that as some type of leverage over me, I can easily go and work for one of us, or one of y'all say, hey, Marcel, I got you. But we don't have that now. So it's the type of economic circumstances a lot of us go through. And I'm going to let you know something, DJ. You know, a lot of crap on these jobs, a lot of it. Like, all types of mental, emotional abuse. I remember reading some article, and it was about the type of mental trauma that Black Americans endure on the workplace. That ain't never been me. They ain't gonna talk. They were never gonna talk to me any kind of way. The kids weren't, the parents weren't, the administrators weren't, and they weren't gonna get away with a little slick microaggression, a little slick anti-black comment. They let that slide either. So I guess that's why I'm not one of the many. I guess I was making a joke. Every black guy I mean, they on Twitter who don't hold for 6 figures. I guess that's why I'm not one of them, because I was always gonna let them have it. And be like, you're gonna talk to my people like that. And even before I came across the reparations movement, I was pushing. Like, I would call out, like, my kids went to this competition, and I would say to them, my kids are majority Black kids from a rural county in South Carolina in extreme poverty. I said, so when they go to these competitions and y'all don't call on them, I'm not saying call on them and make it easier for them, but call on them, give them opportunity. These little white and Asian kids that were there, if they don't get to be here, they go to another state, they go to that state. For my kids, this is not the only opportunity they're going to get to experience something like this. So make it worth their while, because we have to go through a hell of a lot more to get to these events, fundraising, their parents having to buy clothes, all types of stuff. I was the one saying that, no, these history books, they're going to talk about all these quote-unquote white inventors, and for every white inventor, we're going to mention a Black American inventor. I was that guy. So this was the bottom line, and I don't regret one bit of it.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to close the space out. Marcel, would you like to say anything as we get ready to close the space out?
No, I'm good. I'm pressing forward. And Jason asked me about another candidate that supports reparations. I can tell you some candidates that support reparations, but some of the other stuff they support, I just can't rock with. Put them on that. It's a woman's right to an abortion. No, the hell it's not. That's not your right. You don't have a right to murder a baby. Now, if the baby doesn't have a beating heart and it's not fully developed, okay, whatever. Well, if that baby has a beating heart, no, that ain't your damn right. So I could tell you one candidate I know who does have that. I mean, she's not afraid of bucking against the system. Matter of fact, she made national news for being on some recording tape and talking with a prison inmate. She was like, I like N-words. I like the N-words. She was like, those are my people. I like my people. Everybody else, people get money. Where my people get money? Her name is Crystal Matthews. I mean, I support her. I voted for her in the primary. Yeah, I'm still battling whether I've asked to volunteer. I haven't yet because, I can't support abortion. I just can't. I can't. That's a betrayal to my people. But on the other hand, I know she does support reparations. I know she is one of those candidates that doesn't apologize and she doesn't back down. And she's very transparent. Like when the session ends, she goes live and tells her constituents what's happened and what's going on, which is why she's not well liked in the South Carolina legislature. And the people who they don't like, I tend to love. So that's that. And I'm going to be working with a candidate. I'm going to be having brunch with him on Friday. I am going to, I don't know, it's going to be paid. Let me tell you, it's going to be quite a bit of work. But he supports reparations and he's running for state office. So there are candidates out there that do support reparations now. Maybe they don't have the platform as
as extensive as mine, but they do support another candidate I'm working with, and this candidate's a Republican, and I've got him to get on their land justice and the Black Wall Street initiative. So people want to talk being on the ground. I'm on the ground even when I'm online. And the good news is because of my campaign, people now seek me out. It's kind of the craziest thing ever. Even people who won their primary and I did not win mine, quote unquote, about that one, people are seeking out. There's a few instances to the extent where I go, I can't say that, but they support it to some extent.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that real quick, Marcel. Has there been people reaching out to you from the Republican Party, kind of like,
Plenty. It's been plenty. And I'm just going to really stop there. It's been plenty. Like I said, one of them, I've got him to add things onto his platform. There's been plenty, and some have been reaching out to me for various reasons. Some of them, they believe my election was stolen from me, and they really want to connect with me about that. And when I tell you, some have name recognition, I'll just put it that way. So some are reaching out to me because they want my help with the campaign. Some are reaching out to me because they believe that the election was stolen from me, because they see a pattern in my election that they've seen in other elections and agree with that.
All right, appreciate you, Marcel. Definitely appreciate you. For any of you guys that have not, I want you to check out this website called BeMoreCodified.com, the only source for your agenda ware that displays codified messages for B1 and FBA people in support of reparations and codified unity. This is a Black-owned, family-owned business, so please make sure you check out BeMore, BMORE, Codified, CODIFIED.com. That's BeMore Codified. They are definitely a supporter and a friend of Newstoter. Love the people there. Definitely great people. So you make sure y'all check out Be More Codified. Make sure you check out BeMoreCodified.com. That's BeMoreCodified.com. I'm going to start tweeting that link out more. I need to holler at Brother Moku and Be More Codified to keep that link on hand so we can go ahead and bookmark it and tweet it out and put it in the spaces. So definitely check out BeMoreCodified.com. DJ, go ahead. You got something to say? I'm going to let you say something, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the space for the night.
Yeah, Sean. Put the brother Be More Codified, Be More Cool. I got your stuff up there in the Jumbotron, top left-hand side, so if you just get the folks, there's 30 seconds to look at it. Yeah, you know, everybody get in the Jumbotron. That's where the information is at, man. Get in the Jumbotron. That's where the information is at. And, you know, push this reparations and, you know, push the closest Marcel in your state, local or whatever, you know, that's talking about the reparations and, you know, Black agenda and all that other good stuff. And one love, y'all.
Man, let me just say real quick. Mama needs some of you reparationists who always make six figures. Then there should be no reason for me to be struggling with donations. So come on, give me just a little small percentage of those six figures. It's up in the Jumbotron, and that's all I gotta say.
Hey, I'm with you, Marcel. I say give me $1. I say donate $1 to News. So that's all I ask the people for. I say if y'all got $1, please go ahead and cash app it. $Newstoter. $News. So that's all I say.
$10 a week.
Hey, you don't break the bank. I understand everybody got family and bills and this and that. You got $1. If you want to donate $1 a week, $4 a month to Newstoter, it will be greatly appreciated. It will be put to use. Right now, we're working on trying to start a business directory on the website as well, too. We're going to have a Black-owned, trying to do a Black-owned business directory. So within a few weeks or whatever, we hope to have that completed. If you guys know any Black-owned businesses, we will be reaching out to our people. We're going to try to hold a Black-owned business space this month, too, while it is Black business. We're definitely going to be looking to add Black businesses to the actual business directory once it gets completed. So definitely want to go ahead and do that. And like I say, make sure you guys donate to Marcel. Please go ahead and donate to the brother. You can't have candidates and you can't have elections and campaigns and stuff without actually having the backing of the people. Also support us on Cash App. If you got $1, donate it. $Newstoter. $Newstoter. We're the largest curator of Black news today. We keep y'all with content. You guys know that. We keep you. The day we put out 20-some articles. Sometimes we have different sources that even have different the same article that I when we the first time we put it out. You guys don't go ahead and you don't interact with the content. So please go ahead and support Newstoter. Definitely do that. Definitely stay on Newstoter. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close this space out. Let me just give a shout out to everybody who came into space. I appreciate Marcel for coming up in here. Marcel, like I say, tomorrow, brother, we definitely want to do that reverse migration. If you're available, please let's go ahead and get together. You, me, Black Majority State. We can go ahead and do that. We can talk about the benefits of moving to the South and whatnot. You're an expert on it. He's an expert on it. So let's go ahead and try to do that if possible. I know you're a very busy man, but if you got any time, and it could be a short space. It don't have to be a long space. I actually kind of like shorter spaces myself. I like an hour to 2 hours. I don't like being on spaces 4-5 hours, but I have done it. But I'm not a huge person on those big long spaces because I feel like within at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours, your point should have been got across. If they hadn't got across, then that means the people not listening and they don't really care. So definitely, I appreciate everybody coming to the site. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Largest curator of Black news today in America. I appreciate everybody who came in, tweeted out the space. I appreciate everybody who spoke tonight. I appreciate everybody who donated on Cash App or who will donate on Cash App. Support Brother Marcel, support Kit and DJ. Make sure you follow the host and the co-host, both the co-hosts, and we will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good evening.
Hey, Marcel, check your DM. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.